Everyone knows the empire. Few understand the architect. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the man who turned books into bits and delivery trucks into data streams, has become a symbol of wealth, innovation, and relentless ambition. But beyond the headlines, there's a deeper story. A story about how one man built not just a company, but a philosophy, a way of thinking about time, failure, and decisions that can change how we all build our lives. This is the mindset of Jeff Bezos. Part 1. The Architect of Obsession. Jeff Bezos wasn't born into luxury. He was raised by a teenage mother, adopted by a Cuban immigrant who worked as an engineer. From a young age, Jeff loved to tinker. He turned his parents' garage into a makeshift laboratory, disassembling his crib with a screwdriver just to understand how it worked. That curiosity never left him. At Princeton, he studied electrical engineering and computer science, but his real obsession wasn't technology, it was systems. How small actions, repeated over time, compound into massive outcomes. Years later, that same obsession became the DNA of Amazon. If you double the number of experiments you do per year, you're going to double your inventiveness. Jeff Bezos. He didn't want to sell books. He wanted to build the infrastructure for human behavior. Amazon was never about e-commerce. It was about efficiency, data, and scale. Bezos wasn't chasing trends, he was building the rails that the future would run on. Part 2. The Philosophy of Precision. At Amazon, every decision had to survive a brutal question. What's the data say? Bezos built a company obsessed with truth through measurement. If the site loaded 1/10 of a second slower, millions of dollars vanished. He made data sacred, but intuition was never replaced. We are stubborn on vision, he said, but flexible on details. That balance between numbers and narrative is what made Amazon unstoppable. Inside meetings, Bezos banned PowerPoint. No bullet points, no flashy slides. Instead, every idea had to be written as a 6-page memo, a structured narrative that forced clarity of thought. Why? Because when you write, you think. You slow down. You confront the weak spots in your logic. In Bezos's world, thinking wasn't a speed sport. It was an act of craftsmanship. Part 3. The 2-pizza rule. Small teams, big impact. Bezos believed innovation died in big rooms, so he made a rule. If 2 pizzas aren't enough to feed your meeting, the team is too big. The 2-pizza rule wasn't about food. It was about accountability and agility. Small teams move fast. They fail fast. They learn fast. Each team at Amazon was like a startup, autonomous, experimental, accountable. We're not competing against other companies, Bezos once said. We're competing against our own ability to be complacent. That's why Amazon kept reinventing itself. From books to everything. From retail to cloud computing. From Earth to space. Part 4. The Long Game. The Day One Mindset. In 1997, in his first letter to shareholders, Bezos wrote about something called the Day One Mindset. Day one, he said, means acting like a startup, hungry, paranoid, obsessed with customers. Day 2, in contrast, is complacency, comfort, and then decline. 20 years later, Bezos was still signing every letter with the same reminder. It's still day one. To him, growth wasn't about expansion. It was about staying awake. The moment you stop experimenting, you stop evolving. What's dangerous, Bezos warned, is not to evolve. Part 5. Lessons hidden in the noise. Bezos is often seen as cold, mechanical, even ruthless. But behind that precision was something most people miss: curiosity. He loved exploring the unknown, even if it meant wasting money to find the truth. His leadership wasn't about charisma, it was about clarity. He taught his teams that writing beats talking, data beats ego, and customer obsession beats competition. In an era obsessed with speed, Bezos built Amazon on patience. He didn't chase quarterly profits, he invested in a 20-year advantage. When other CEOs looked for exits, Bezos looked for flywheels, loops of momentum that build on themselves over time. Part 6. The Flywheel Principle. One of Bezos's most powerful ideas is something called the flywheel effect. Imagine a massive, heavy wheel. It takes forever to move at first, but with each push, it gets a little easier, until eventually the wheel spins on its own. That's Amazon. Years of slow, painful effort, eventually creating unstoppable momentum. It's the same in life. Progress isn't instant. It's friction, repetition, and patience, until suddenly you're unstoppable too. Part 7. The Hidden Discipline of Time. Bezos once said he makes only a few key decisions a day. He protects his mornings for deep thinking, no meetings before 10 a.m., and he sleeps 8 hours every night. That's not luxury, that's discipline. He understands that high-quality decisions require high-quality energy. If I make 3 good decisions a day, he said, that's enough. In a world chasing productivity, Bezos chased clarity. Part 8. Final Reflections, The Builder's Mindset. Jeff Bezos didn't just build a company, he built a new way to think, a way that blends imagination with data, vision with patience, and structure with curiosity. He proved that you don't need to move fast and break things. You can move deliberately and change everything. So what can we learn? Right to think. Build small, dream big, fail fast, learn faster, and always evolve. Because in the end, the empire isn't the legacy. The mindset is. What's dangerous is not to evolve.